Hi, this is BlueMoonRisingTV. My name's Paul. I'm not new to the channel, although you won't recognise me. It's just I'm normally stood behind the camera. Today I've come out in front of it to chip in a little bit with this video. Today we're going to do something else that's a bit different as well. It's going to last a little bit longer than normal because we're going to dig in a little bit and talk about the January transfer window. But we're going to be talking about our top 5 January transfer target dream signings. To help me on this occasion, my first time on the channel, I've got 2 Blue Moon Rising TV legends, Alex and Walter. How's it going, guys?
Hi, you're right. How you doing?
Not bad at all.
I'm a bit nervous, but you're going to help me out, so it's all good. Let's get started. Let's get started, Alex. Give us a name, a dream signing for you for City in this transfer window.
Okay, cheers, Paul. I'm going to open the bidding quite high. I'm going to go John Stones. He's young, he's English, he's wicked. City, we've really struggled at the back this season. I don't think that's well. We're not really struggled, but we've certainly looked a little bit weak at centre half, especially without company. I do try and defend Mangala. I'm a big fan of his. I can see that he's got the technical ability, but with every game that comes, he's looking more and more difficult. He's harder to defend, and it's just someone like Stones I could just see slotting in straight away. Beyond that, he can play right back, he can play centre back. He's a little bit more versatile, and I do think he's going to go on to be one of the best players in his position in the world. That's the potential that he's got. Chelsea must have put 30-40 million pounds. I forget how high they went in the summer. I can't see Everton letting him go in January, so it's more one for this big rebuild in the summer. But if we really went for him, I think we could get him, and I think he'd really be a nice City fit.
Like you say, I think we would have to break the bank, wouldn't we? Although, ironically, we probably wouldn't have to pay that much more than we paid for Mangala, because every time you hear how much we paid for him, it seems to go up a few million. Do you think City would be willing to accept the fact that Mangala was, well, ultimately, if we get rid of him, that it's been a failure on our part if we were to get rid of him?
I think so. I mean, if you're looking at Mangala, we were trying to get him out in the summer, didn't we, for a 2-year loan deal into Spain. So, and we were looking at the time to get Denayer and make him stay. And so Denayer, in some ways, was forced out of the club and he had to go to Turkey. Not the worst place in the world you can go, I suppose. But the problem was, it upset the apple cart with Denayer, Mangala. In truth, he isn't a player. I mean, he's looking forward to what Pep wants, and as I was saying, he's not a Pep player.
That's what John Stones is. He's someone who can play with his feet, and Mangala isn't really that kind of player. Otamendi's great at sweeping up and cleaning up, but he's not really a ball player centre half. Whereas John Stones is someone that could really fit into that style of play that Pep we know likes to play.
He reminds me of Rio Ferdinand when he was playing for West Ham. You could see all his potential. And he's also almost like a Rolls Royce of a defender, where he can actually get the ball, he's calm, he's collected, and then he can bring the ball out as well. And you can guarantee if he trips someone up in the penalty area like he did the other night, he'll get a penalty against us.
You're just saying that the Real Madrid issue, that if they can't buy any more players, you're saying that's good news in terms of Stones, but in terms of buying a player like Isco, that could make our lives very difficult, couldn't it?
It's an interesting one because I think with Isco, we talked about it on the transfer target all week. Is he coming? Is he not? He wants first team football, as any good footballer should do. Zidane was the one who brought him to Real Madrid, so he's made the decision that he wants to stay at Madrid, fight for his place in the Zidane team. With them now not being able to sign a replacement, it's whether Madrid would want to sign a replacement if he goes. You know, he's competing with players like Ronaldo, Bale, and this amazing list of players. I think I could see why they'd want to hold on to him as a player for the future if they're not going to be able to sign anyone for the next 2 seasons. But
sorry, go on.
Oh no, but I think with the Real Madrid saga, I think that the goods outweigh the bads really in terms of them not being in the race for players, and it also means that Madrid are never going to let Ronaldo go to United now if they know they're not going to be able to sign on to replace him, which is definitely a score in the draw.
Yeah, we'll take that. Isco is a player obviously that's been on our radar for a long time now, and it seems to be that Real Madrid keep promising him more every season. I think there has been glimpses where he's had a decent run in the team, but then it always ends up that he gets pushed out by the names that you've mentioned, plus James, and it's an embarrassment, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, if you look at Real Madrid and you look at this transfer saga, if they actually can't buy any players in, it's going to be incredibly hard to get players out. Now, he's a fan's favourite, and I think he'd suit City down to the ground, because what he does is he gets that ball and he moves it up the pitch quickly, and that's what we've been missing. We tend to be laboured. I often think of us as an old-style boxer. When we get the ball, we kind of like just sort of say, you get back into position, and then we'll attack. We're not got that street rat mentality, which Isco would bring to us. He can get that ball and fire it up to the likes of Aguero and Sterling, etc., who can start doing damage a lot more quickly before a team kind of gets itself back into organisation.
I mean,
yeah, we've scored the odd goal on the counter-attack, but almost all our goals come from slow build-up play, don't they? But when we have gone on the counter, sometimes we can be absolutely devastating, but it seems as though it's almost been crushed out of us a little bit. And like you say, we wait for everyone to get into position, we build it up slowly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's like, if we're playing against teams like Barcelona, Real Madrid in the Champions League, we can't play our normal game. Unfortunately, we just got to accept we're not on that level yet. And a player like Isco, who means we can hit them at pace, I think would be exactly the right sort of player we'd need.
Is Isco a replacement for the Yaya of two years ago, who was that sort of player who'd pick the ball up on 60 yards and find a quick exit, and if that meant driving forward, if that meant whipping it out to someone on the wing? It seems that we're built for counter-attacking football as well, with the likes of Sterling and Navas.
Yeah.
Being able to players who can just go in. And I think Navas is built for counter-attacks, isn't he? A quick ball over the top, whip it around there, getting behind someone, and then obviously going one-on-one and skying it 30 yards over. But
Paul Pogba is the guy in the ultimate world, dream list, that I'd actually like us to see us sign. The reason simply being, if he comes in and plays along with Yaya, or he just sort of signs in the summer, I think he is the absolute worldwide, that I've seen, natural replacement for Yaya. And he'll keep up that quality that we've been used to.
So do you think, would you be interested in a player like that, Alex? Is that a stupid rhetorical question?
I think, yeah, it is a stupid question, Paul. Is there a...
First time, mate. First time.
No, I mean, name a team in the world that wouldn't take Pogba if given the choice.
Manchester United under Alex Ferguson.
Hey!
Well, there you are. And look how much they've regret it. I think... it's a dream list, isn't it? And I think Pogba is worthy of that title. He's a real gold-plated footballer, and he's got glory all over him, isn't he? I think that's what it's about, is that he could go in and boss it for the team. That he seems, he's got the fancy haircut and he's got the cool name and he's posh suits or whatever, but he's a grafter as well, and he puts the work in on the pitch, and that's really exciting to see. He's a proper all-rounder. Can you tell I've run out of superlatives? I mean, this sentence could have finished by now, but it hasn't. It's still going.
I'll jump in and
that's
save
what
you.
Pogba's done to me. I think he's a fantastic player. Like Walter said, Yaya is coming to the end of his cycle, and I agree with Walter. Yaya's contract expires in summer 2017, which means that he'll probably leave this summer, I think, when City can still get a fee for him.
Moving on to another name. Alex, have you got another one for us?
I mean, there's a few. I think we need a left back. I think Clichy's getting on a little bit. I really rate Clichy. I do. I think he's one of those players that in his peak at City just never had a bad day. He was one of those players that never ever outstanding, but was 8 out of 10 every single game, and that was what you needed in that sort of position. But it's a position, especially the way City play with overlapping fullbacks, is that you have to be both a winger and a defender. And Kolarov has never been a defender for me. And Clichy's getting on a little bit and can't quite manage to run in for 38 games a season. So I'm thinking we need to bring someone in there. Realistically, I'm not sure who's on the cards. ALABA was linked with us earlier in the window, and I think that would be an amazing move. He's, I think, 25, 26, so he's just about to come into his peak. He's probably the best. Oh, he might be younger than that. In fact, I think he might be about 23, so he's still got years ahead of him. He's one of the best left backs in the world. He's playing for Pep now. Maybe Pep could bring him with him in the summer. There's a possibility he will be on the list of clubs who could get him should he want to move. I'm in awe of him. I think he's fantastic, and I think it'd be the sort of player that we could really it's another world-class player to add into the squad that's going to take us that little bit further from a Champions League team to a Champions League winning team.
I'll tell you what, Alex, I'm loving your optimism. If, Walter, you ever need to take a week off, I think Alex could jump into your segment.
Well,
I'm always optimistic about world-class players coming to the club, Paul.
Yeah, no, true, and I'm with you 100%. So, what do you think, Walter? Have you heard of this player before? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, he's absolute quality left back and get up and down the pitch. And as I was saying previously, I think that full back position, more than any other in football, is a young man's game. Because the amount of energy, you're covering more ground, you're defending, you're overlapping, you're a winger. And when the other team breaks, you're supposed to be back in position, which I think sometimes Kolarof's been highlighted for, of this jogging back. I mean, he's probably knackered, but that doesn't help our cause any. So when I'm looking at left backs, he's one of the best in the world, Albert. And I just think that what we need to get our heads round is, if we get Pep, we will have the golden keys to actually go and sign some of these top players. These top players want to play for the top managers, and they don't come any higher than him.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think we haven't spoken that much about Pep so far, but there certainly are noises around. The Telegraph ran an article just the other day saying that basically City's entire strategy now for buying players is with Pep in mind.
It needs to be.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. We've got a plan for the future, and he, by all accounts, is almost definitely going to be that. Right, so finally, Walter, can you give us the last name of the five, your dream final January transfer window signing, please?
Well, I'd like to see a young left back coming in. And one of the names that I was looking at, when I was watching some of the BT Sports, was I was looking at Ricardo Rodriguez in the German leagues, and he looks fantastic. I've never seen him live, but I'm actually looking at his stats and I'm looking at his ability on the box, and he looks superb. He was good in the tackle, could get forward, was absolutely immense with his sort of assists as well. Getting that ball in the box and getting it in early with an accurate kick, as it were. So his passing's good, he's up and down, and most importantly for me is he's a young lad.
So is this magical Frankenstein type cross between Clichy and Kolarov that you were just explaining? Because it sounds like it.
Well, yes and no. I mean, he's a young player, so he's still got a bit to learn, but he does look good. I've rated him when I've seen him, but it's one of them where there's going to be a few teams that are in the market, as it were. I mean, I also like Galloway at Everton. I think he'd be a fantastic understudy to earn his stars and stripes, as it were, until either Clichy or Kolarov actually moves on. So it's one of them where left back is definitely the position that I think we need strengthening. I think we need to replace all the fullbacks over the next couple of years. Even Zabaleta, I'll be sad to see him go. But they're all moving on. As I keep sort of going back to, it's a young man's position with that energy.
Yeah, we've started to rejuvenate the attacking line, haven't we? Yeah. And the centre of defence as well, to an extent. But yeah, it looks like we will have to sort of move along each of those positions and start to bring in a young understudy.
Well, again, Sanya and Zabaleta, I think, are both out of contract in 2017. So it's possible we might see them both move this summer. Maybe.
Zabaleta. Whoa.
I
think he's staying forever and ever, isn't he?
Yeah.
We did a football manager video, didn't we? And didn't he?
Yes.
He take the assistant manager position or something?
No, he became. I don't know if you saw the video, Walter. We ran a simulation of what City will be like in 5 years, and through the game, Pablo Zabaleta becomes caretaker manager of City in like 2019.
It was worth doing that video just for that.
I mean, I think there's a level of accuracy. Not that Zabaleta will be managing City in 4 years, but moreover, after like Luciano Spalletti gets sacked or something. But I think I could see Zabaleta staying in Manchester and being in and around the club. Junior coaching, that sort of thing. But with Sanya, I think he's a different one. I think, will Sanya want to go to France and play for a French club? Or maybe I could see Sanya. I say this like I know Sanya's personality. I've never met the man.
We're psychoanalyzing the players here.
I could see Sanya, based on how he was when Arsenal let him go 2 years ago, I can imagine him being the sort of player that wants to play as long as he can and maybe go to China, Dubai, US, France, wherever he can to get that football. And that means that if he goes in the summer and City get a fee for him, if he goes next year, either way, in the next 2 seasons, we are going to have to sign a right back.
Right, so that's the end of our slightly extended January transfer window discussion. If you've liked the video, drop a like below, leave a comment. What else do they need to do, guys? You do this a lot more frequently than I do.
Oh, subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. Blue Moon Rising TV. See you next time.
Get tapping below. Time for another.
You heard it here first.
I need a catchphrase. See ya.